Mena's life was upended when a mysterious phone video surfaced online, including personal messages and recordings that seemed to represent a secret romance. Fans are startled when rumors circulate that Yandy Smith Harris may have been involved, with Erica's ex-husband behind closed doors. The leak happened late at night, just as reports about Yandy's devotion started to circulate. Everyone was talking about the erased texts, concealed late-night discussions, and cryptic voicemails that hinted to a relationship no one expected. Imagine Erica scanning through her phone, her eyes enlarging and her heart racing as she realizes the gravity of what she is viewing. Meanwhile, Yandy cannot be found, and her social media accounts are silent. The family was divided as friends, and co-stars attempted to make sense of the dispute. Emotions were high when a video of Yandy and Erica's ex appeared online, reportedly laughing together at what seemed to be a private supper, contradicting Yandy's public statements. Every message and emoji, as well as every late-night discussion, are now being examined. Everyone is wondering whether there is any proof, or if this is simply another twisted tale. As the story develops, one thing is certain: Erica Yandy and the unknown figure at the center of this tragic leak will never be the same again. The gap surfaced when Mena, restless and unable to shake a nagging sense, decided to investigate her old phone late at night, after most Atlanta reality stars had gone to bed. A delayed update had transferred everything to her tablet, including a hidden gallery she had forgotten about. As she searched, she came upon a folder labeled Unknown, an innocent moniker that concealed a gold mine. Her breath hitched as she saw photographs of late-night messages between Yandy Smith Harris and a contact simply known as Jay. Erica's fingers shook as she touched on the first photo, which carried a timestamp of 217A. Yandy's text, "I," appears next. Erica's pulse raced as she saw the answer, "Meet me at the 12th Street Diner." She had spent years trusting Yandy like a sister, yet suspicions of deceit lingered in her stomach. The next photograph showed Yandy and the mystery Jay smiling over coffee. She knew the sight. It was the same booth where her ex-husband Denzel Stokes would take her on date nights. Her heartbeat quickened as she became aware. Jay was Erica's previous spouse. Every day may offer surprising news, but Erica never expected to uncover such a scandal. A hazy but unmistakable audio message with Denzel's soothing tone said, "You're so gorgeous." Her laughter blended with gentle promises, and each message shattered her trust. Each image reminded her of a relationship and marriage she thought were in better shape. Tears welled up in her eyes, but wrath boiled even hotter. She knew she had to expose this. But how? The next morning, Erica arrived at the sound set for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, her normally lively exuberance replaced by a steely determination. She snuck inside her trailer, took a long breath, and contacted a trusted producer. "I have something you should see," she said gently, "and we need to remove the picture." The producer's response was a mix of concern and excitement. "What is it? Is this serious?" Erica didn't hesitate. "It's Yandy. You've heard the tales. They're true. I have screenshots." By the time Erica's makeup was finished, word had spread. Across the crew, whispers of, "Have you seen Erica's face? Something major is coming," reverberated down the hallway. Yandy arrived on stage looking stunning in a clean white top designer jeans, her smile concealing any signs of the impending storm. She greeted her castmates joyfully, oblivious to the tension growing around her. Kirk Frost, sitting across from her, saw Erica's eyes sparkle with passion. "Are you okay?" he queried calmly. Yandy nodded with a fake smile. "I'm great, ready for my close-up." Kirk had seen her restless glances at her phone lately, which was unusual for her generally. Gregarious demeanor. Erica waited till the cameras came on. The morning's first scene, a commercial piece advertising prospective spin-offs, was followed by a quiet stroll into Yandy's dressing room by the producer, who was holding a tablet. The producer tapped the screen, displaying the first image of Yandy's late-night text inviting Denzel to a hidden meeting. Yandy glanced up, astonishment lighting across her face. "Erica!" What's but Erica cut off, her voice booming with outrage. "What's this?" The staff gasped, and the spectators in the studio became silent, sensing the strain. The presenter sat near and leaned forward. Curiosity piqued Kirk's interest, and he stood swiftly. The producer swiped to view a succession of photos for each late-night text. Yandy and Denzel's mystery selfie taken before morning. Paparazzi situations were blurred. In the background, Yandy's captions indicate fleeting glances and secret meeting. Her respiratory rate rose. "This is a mistake," she said softly, her hands shaking. Kirk's face became pale. Erica's lips curled into a phony smile as he said, "Stop being silly. You sent them and I saw everything." "This is my phone." She raised the tablet, her voice rising as cameras rolled and captured each agonizing reaction. "You thought I wouldn't find out? You thought I'd let a pal steal my marriage?" Yandy wiped tears from her eyes, her voice quivering. "Erica, I'm sorry. It was supposed to be nothing, and I never meant to damage you." But the tears did not alleviate Kirk's suffering. His eyes shifted between Yandy and Erica, contempt pouring over him. "How long has this been going on?" Yandy swallowed hard. "It started last summer, when Kirk and I were having problems, and Denzel was there to listen. He was a pal. Then, something happened, and I had no idea it would go that bad." Erica chuckled bitterly, blaming Yandy of deceiving me and my family. "I thought you loved Kirk. I thought we were a family." Yandy cried even more. "Kirk, I loved you and still do, but I was lonely and wanted someone. Denzel was there," and she gazed at Kirk. "Please understand." Kirk recoiled. Amidst the chaos, the MC approached a professional anchor and said, "We're presenting this because fans desire transparency. We'd want to see Yandy's reply." Kirk's response and how Denzel fits into it. As the camera zoomed, Erica produced another voice note. Denzel's smooth voice responded, "Meet me tonight." The recording played over the studio speakers, eliciting hushed gasps from the staff and audience. Yandy bit her lip. "We did nothing, except talk," and Erica's eyes blazed with coping. "You were visiting him at midnight, having pancakes at restaurants while hiding from Kirk. How is that not betrayal?" A low murmur arose, and viewers at home texted, "Friends, have you seen Kira? Yandy is in danger." Emotions were high on set. Rashida ran over as soon as she heard the commotion. "Girls, what's going on?" she queried, her gaze shifting between Erica and Yandy. Erica turned and pointed the charge like a spotlight. "Rashida Yandy has been sleeping with Denzel, Erica's ex-husband." Rashida's face twisted in disbelief. Kirk held her hand. "Rashida, I'm so sorry I didn't know." She shook her head, her voice tight. "I told him I trusted her." Yandy covered her face, tears streaming down. "I apologize, Rashida. I never meant to hurt you." Rashida's voice quivers. "Apologies." Jock arrived in time to see Rashida's reaction and wrapped his arm over her. "I'm here, babe," he murmured. She shook her head, tears streaming down her cheeks. "How am I going to face the kids? How can I trust anybody now?" Erica watched the aftermath, her gaze hard but happy that the truth had been disclosed. She approached Yandy, soft but furious. "I know you're hurting, but Denzel, my ex, was the one who promised to assist me." Yandy's sobbing turned into an appeal to Erica, whom she adores. Erica shook her head. "Love doesn't matter when you're examining a friend's marriage." She said calmly to Kirk, "I didn't mean to hurt you." Kirk nodded, tears streaming down his cheeks. "I did it for myself. Yandy needs to take responsibility." Erica observed the cast, allowing her words to sink in. "We're better." On the screens behind them, social media comments blazed. "Yandy is a mess. Erase that one from the program. Erica is the actual MVP. How can Rashidita recover?" Fans were transfixed by each. The host remembered Denzel's emotional revelation and forced apologies as the night progressed. "I'm heartbroken. I never expected this to be," he added. "I hope both families find peace." The cameras watched Yandy's phone light up with Denzel's eye. "I'm sorry, Yandy, but I have to leave town." She gazed at it, memories of her children racing through her mind. What had I done? In a quiet hallway, Kirk confronted Denzel, who welcomed him with his head lowered. Cold rage. "You destroyed a family. You exploited my wife's fragility to boost your ego." Denzel met his stare, guilt engraved on his face. "I'm sorry. If there was any way to change it, I would." Kirk's hand tightened. Sorry is not enough. Erica came to Yandy's side, offering a handkerchief to wipe away her own tears. "It's time to face reality. Every secret has a price." Yandy accepted the offer, and the night ended with Yandy exiting the stage, Kirk following suit, and Rashida staying in stunned silence. Jock consoled his wife, and Erica posted a video on social media. "I never wanted to be the bearer of bad news, but loyalty and honesty are important, I believe." Yandy finds a way to repent, and Rashida recovers. Comments poured in, some praising her bravery, others denouncing her for disclosing classified information. The debate raged. Was Erica backstage? The crew voiced quiet awe. "I've never witnessed such raw passion," one cameraman said. Another said, "This Erica exited the stage with her head held high, bracing herself for the frenzy to come." Interviews, headlines, and gossip websites scrutinized every detail. But for now, the truth had been revealed, and nothing would ever be the same. Yandy didn't sleep that night. Her mind replayed every word of the confrontation. The shock of Erica's accusation, Kirk's subtle betrayal, Rashida's tears and trembling voice. As dawn broke, Yandy hurried downstairs to find her children already up, their youthful faces eager for breakfast and school. She forced a smile. "Good morning, my loves," she said. They were irritated by her foolish questions about cartoons and waffles. She swallowed the lump in her throat and prepared porridge as her mind raced. How was she going to confront them when all they knew was that Mommy was in trouble? Rashida spent the early morning carrying a duffel bag across town, holding back, tears as moonlight streamed through the window. In a fit of rage, she deleted every image of Yandy on her phone, melancholy and self-preservation. But now she looked at the blank screen and understood how much history they had. She swept her hands over a faded photo of her and Yandy on the beach, arms around each other, smiling. That sort of friendship felt like a distant past. Kirk came to Yandy's house soon before dawn, catching her in the kitchen. He halted at the entry, worry etched into every line of his face. "Yandy," he said gently. Her eyes became scarlet. "Don't," he mumbled. "I can't do it today." She wiped away her tears. Kirk's voice trembled as he said, "I noticed those messages and should have asked questions sooner." Yandy shook her head. "We both committed mistakes, but I'm afraid of losing my children." Kirk took her into a gentle embrace. "We'll figure it out. We're out together, but just now we need to protect them." Yandy nodded and buried her. Rashida's sister, Raquel, arrived early and tapped on the door, which Rashida opened, puffy-eyed Rockwell. Walked inside and wrapped her in a hug. "I saw everything online. Are you okay?" Rashidita's shoulders shook. "No, I feel like I am in a nightmare." Guided her to the sofa. "You may stay here. I'll handle everything at home until you're ready." Rashida nodded gratefully but silently. "Thank you," she whispered. She gazed. Meanwhile, Erica had spent her midnight hours creating an emotional video message. By morning, she had broken the record on her phone. "I know releasing those messages will hurt many people," she said calmly yet passionately, "but loyalty and honesty were more important. I regret for your pain, but I stand by my actions." Some friendships break when secrets begin. She published it on social media and closed her eyes, bracing for the storm. In less than 30 minutes, Erica's phone was inundated with alerts, and the comment section was overwhelmed with appreciation from some fans and condemnation from others. The recording was snatched by tabloids, which reproduced headlines like Erica's. Fearless revelation fractures cast as Yandy walks away from show after claimed affair. Erica's agency phoned her, pressing her to limit social media. Erica inhaled, wanting to retreat from the chaos, but knowing there was no going back. On stage, the remaining performers gathered for an emergency conference, and the presenter addressed them in a tense tone. "We need to regroup. Therefore, we're delaying today's filming." A producer looked over the notes. "Yandy's segments are on hold. We'll reschedule after the dust settles." Rashida sat in her makeup chair, looking at her phone. Jock approached her softly, laying an arm over her shoulders. "I called the kids' school. They'll understand why you're late today." Rashida nodded, tears glinting in her eyes. "Thank you," she said. Kirk sat in an adjacent trailer, Yandy's empty chair beside him. He glanced at the door, expecting her to appear at any moment, but she never did. He wondered whether his children felt guilty. He had promised affection, friendship, and family peace, but delivered deceit. The wait was burdensome, and Joke drove Rashida to the adjacent elementary school shortly after breakfast. Rackwell's truck came up behind them, delivering Erica's juk. He kissed Rashida's forehead and said, "I'll take our kids to soccer practice later." Rashida leaned back, her voice flat, and Joke grasped her hand. One step at a time, she nodded, still clutching his. Rashida's children rushed to the school gate, waving, and she embraced them while pretending to smile. "Have a good day." The children climbed the steps, unaware of the anguish that was unfolding. Raquel watched from behind and dropped a soothing kiss on Rashida's cheek. "You're doing great," she whispered, and Rashida nodded, swallowing more tears. Yandy returned home, pacing the living room with her phone in hand, convinced that Cole had left town as promised. Yandy received a voicemail message and Cole's voice broke. "I'm sorry I'm gone," she said, closing her eyes in agony. She dropped the phone as if it burned her skin. "Wrecked everything," she moaned. Across town, Cole packed the rest of his belongings into a duffel bag. His apartment, once a refuge, was lonely, haunted by memories of secret embraces and whispered promises. He grabbed his keys and locked the door, determined to leave his mistakes behind. He contemplated Erica and Yandy, both of whom had been devastated by his presence. "I'll never forgive myself," he murmured as he walked toward the elevator that would transport him away from Atlanta and everything he had ruined. Meanwhile, Erica arrived in the studio for a live interview promoting her new book. The host welcomed her and immediately addressed the elephant in the room. "Erica, your book, Loyalty Betrayed, is out this week. Did you expect this kind of backlash?" Erica took a big breath and stated, "I honestly wanted to tell my experience. I knew it was controversial, but I believe in expressing the truth, even if it hurts." The host nodded, and the audience moved ahead. "Any regrets?" he asked Erica. "I regret that Yandy and Rashida's relationship is shattered and that an entire family has suffered, but I don't regret telling the truth." As the interview progressed, social media exploded with more remarks. Erica's writing skills are exceptional, and I don't see how this drama would assist her. Yandy may sue Rashida. When Kirk returned to Yandy's house with bags of goodies, he saw Yandy slumped on the couch. Supporters swarmed around her, and newspapers happily posted links to buy the book. He placed the bags on the counter and crouched before her. "I got pasta and sauce," he whispered softly. She shook her head, face buried in her hands. "I'm not hungry." Kirk halted. I placed my hand on her shoulder and said, "Our kids will need food. Let me take care of it." She did not respond. Yandy shook at the words. "I love you. I'm sorry," as he knelt and moved a strand of hair away from her face. "I'm not sure I'll ever trust you again," Kirk said, closing his eyes. "I'll work every day regaining that trust." The show's producers debated the schedule. Should we replace Yandy's scenes with B-roll? One producer inquired, while another shook his head. "No, we need her confession on video. We'll shoot a follow-up." They planned interview questions, such as, "How do you intend to restore respect? What would you say to Rashidita's fans?" Yandy opted to film her follow-up in the studio that evening. "Are you seeking forgiveness?" Though her hands shook as she stepped in front of the camera, the presenter met her look compassionately, and the audience is curious as to how. "Has this affair impacted your marriage or your family?" Yandy closed her eyes and drew a nervous breath. "Kirk and I are now separated, and our children need a stable home, which I have failed to provide. I want to leave the program permanently to focus on repairing the damage I did to Rashida. Sorry doesn't even begin to define it." The host nodded. "I'll do whatever it takes to restore your trust one day." Yandy's lips trembled as emotions ran high, causing the family to separate. This surprised many viewers. "What are your thoughts on this? I understand why they feel duped. I go through the same agony every day. I only hope that one day they will see my commitment to change and return as a better person." Cameras captured her weeping as she looked off stage, maybe hoping to find Kirk or Rashida sitting nearby and offering comfort. Rashida kept an eye on her phone as Yandy filmed, but no one showed up. She sat on the floor of her bedroom, hugging a pillow, her daughter asleep next to her, and listened Yandy's apology. She had the chance to tell me face to face, but she ran to Denzel instead. She felt a flicker of empathy, but her rage flared up too quickly. She pressed play. Cole's last message was cold and lifeless. She closed her eyes and listened to her child breathe, determined to protect her family at whatever cost. Kirk, standing, off camera, watched Yandy's confession with a heavy heart. He told himself, "We'll get through this, even if it kills me." He turned around and reached for his car phone, scrolling through it. Through the words of their pastor, "I'm here for both of you, and forgiveness begins with a confession." He hummed lightly, gathering himself for the long journey ahead. Meanwhile, Erica sat. She was alone in her car, parked outside a coffee shop, going through Twitter. "Erica's too ruthless." "Thank you for the truth, Erica," Yandy said Rashida. She took a sip of lukewarm coffee and moaned. "This isn't over," she said quietly, glancing at the vacant studio lights behind her. She contemplated her next action. Book signings, interviews, and maybe a talk show job were all possibilities, but for the time being, she preferred the previous tranquility. The following storm. As night fell, the city,